I literally said to someone today, again, because they were about, this is an episode or a whole podcast on being like a child or whatever.
Let's let this the new promo. Welcome to the podcast where it's like being like about a child or whatever. Welcome to I Don't Want to Grow Up. It's the podcast for two guys who like to download goal-setting apps way more than they actually like goal-setting. So many. Talk about how things were infinitely better when they were kids and spend an entire episode convincing themselves that they're right. I'm Jordan. Don't talk to me about my 5-year plan, Stratton.
And I am Felix. I think I did it, but not really Schlater.
Guys, this is a big day.
I completely forgot to come up with an intro.
Did you do it right in the
I did it
second?
just now, and
you.
I think it works. It
Last
works.
See, you're
goals.
clearly not a planner.
I should have been
Clearly
Felix
you're on setting those
#goals Schlater, and never mind.
You just didn't do it. It's a big day. We're recording. We're on video format. You can see us with your eyes this time.
Hey, Mom.
Wow.
It's also another big day.
Yeah.
Because we have a guest today. Guys, today we're welcoming Alex Gervasi. Alex is an on-air personality and music coordinator at 102.7 KISS FM in LA.
That was really good.
Host of the Alex Tries Her Best podcast and just genuinely one of my favorite people.
The feeling's mutual.
Oh, look at that. Welcome to the show,
And Felix was there too.
Felix is also here.
Just hanging out.
Guys, this is fun. I got to tell you, I'm not normally on like the receiving end of an interview.
You're like a vet now. You've had your own podcast for how long?
We started it in February.
Okay.
But I mean, I've been doing interviews and I've been in radio it'll be 10 years in January. So
how many things are we doing wrong right now?
Yeah, just point them out.
Just
Where's
doing
Waldo
great.
this situation?
I'll just do it as we go along with the interview. I'll just
have
stop
a
everyone.
clicker. Just have a clicker. And just don't tell us.
just a
I'm just like, oh no, I gotta stop you. You know what you could have done better here?
Just a clipboard and a pen.
Real time.
Just check off slowly.
Oh my God, what is she writing?
This is exciting.
This is really fun.
There's tequila.
Oh yeah.
I'm already when I was waiting, 3 hours for you guys.
Okay, well, you know what? There's a lot of people in New York.
I
And
didn't
there's
know
a
how
lot of
many
people
people
in
were here
cars.
and how much traffic there was going to be.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Right? No one told us.
No one.
We don't know.
Told
I've
you
seen
guys.
movies.
But I did sit at a bar and I have seen movies.
Like one or
It's like
two.
I saw Ghostbusters one time.
New York, I love you.
There aren't that many people.
You've got
Ghosts,
mail.
Though.
Yeah, Escape from New York.
Wait, also, I do have a ghost story for you guys, but we'll get there later.
Okay,
It's later now.
Write that
It's
down.
later now.
No.
Not yet. We'll get there. But right now, as we do every episode, we're drinking people.
We are.
We're
We
adults.
are.
Yeah.
And usually we like to have a drink that coincides with the topic at hand. But since we have a guest, we like to let the guests decide because we're hospitable like that. So, Alex, what are we drinking?
We're
and
just
tell me why.
Drinking straight tequila.
Straight tequila.
No mixer.
It's fine.
We keep it really easy.
We don't have a problem.
No, well, yikes. I gotta tell you though, this whole week I've been in New York. I've lived in LA. It'll be 6 years in January, and I'm originally from the East Coast. And my whole dream growing up was to move to New York, and it's kind of weird. Life just brought me out to LA, and this past year I really fell in love with Los Angeles. But it's so funny because now I see the huge differences between the city. For example, I was out with my friend last night and he was just like, we're gonna go get hammered. And I was just like, it is Thursday.
That's a New York thing.
Yeah.
Alcoholism?
And I was just like, right? I was just like, it's Thursday. We don't need to take shots. I was like, I have been drunk for the past 2 nights. He's like, congrats. I've been drunk for the past 5 years that I've lived here. And I was just like, what is this? And I just have noticed anytime I come to New York, they're like, we're going to 11 p.m. dinner. And I'm like, why?
Maybe
That's
you guys
not
should,
when human
hydrate
beings
with
eat
water.
dinner.
With
sometime.
water. But my New York friends would come to Los Angeles, and I remember a couple months ago, one of my friends came out, and we ran into each other at a show, and I was getting a lift back, and I was about to head out. It's 9, and he texts me. He's just like, "Hey, do you want to grab dinner?" And I was like, "What?" And he was just like, "Do you want to go grab dinner?" And I was like, "I'm going to bed." And he was just like, "But it's 9 p.m." I was like, "Exactly." And
That's
he's like,
the time that
he was
we
like,
sleep.
"What is wrong with you, LA people?" And I was like, "When do you get dinner?" And he's like 10. And I was just like, "What is
10?
wrong with you
What are you
people?"
doing?
I was like, "You guys just need to go to bed early, get up, go on a hike."
It's like the people on the East Coast just eat when the people on the West Coast are eating. There's just a 4-hour
Yeah,
difference.
there is.
Right.
It's just, but it was
See,
so.
it's all at the same time.
It was really.
Guy.
I don't know.
Time zone.
All that to say about the tequila, though, I cut out. Not anymore, but I was doing this challenge where I wasn't going to have sugar for a month.
You're so brave.
And thank you. It was really hard.
Thank you for being an
But
example.
all that to say, I just was like, oh, what I'm going to start doing is just drinking straight alcohol, no mixers. And now I'm just used to it. And so here I am, an alcoholic.
I love that statement. I cut out fill in the blank. I'm just drinking straight
Straight
alcohol.
Plain alcohol.
It's going great.
Yeah, I
So-
don't have taste buds anymore.
Anyone has seen my
so
house?
fun.
But honestly, it's so funny because now I order drinks. I'm like, can you just not put any agave or sweeteners in it? And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like,
Just directly into my hands.
it's fine, actually.
Just take the bottle and
Just pour it
directly
down my throat.
in
Thank
and around my
you.
mouth. Can you do that, please?
But tequila's an upper for me, and
I just made a
also
gift that someone's gonna make from our first episode.
I'll do it.
Just
I'll do it. I
this is my
volunteer as
opening-
tribute.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. This is what friendship looks like.
Yeah.
enough about tequila though.
Enough about tequila. We're not talking about booze that much. A little bit probably later.
Yeah.
We love it.
We're talking about goals, and I came up with this topic because
Good job.
Alex, you're one of these people who I feel like you've known what you wanted to do your entire life, and you're actually doing it, which is ridiculous. Because who does that?
I don't know.
I'm not a marine biologist, like every fourth
Is that
grader.
what you
I'm
want
not
to
a
do?
Marine.
No, but every fourth grader wanted to be a marine biologist,
Did
right?
we?
Yeah, except for you.
I'm not a
Clearly
teacher
you
or a
didn't.
caterpillar. I'm here recording a podcast.
It was so funny. Like I actually I did an event for Barbie of all things, and
Wait,
the
what?
whole thing I know it was called like
She's
it was like
real?
the dream.
She's a real person.
It's Tyra Banks.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my
Man.
God, what a throwback!
That's what we're all about, baby.
But like I'm hearing all of these kids because like the whole thing it was just like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because Barbie has been so many things, and all these little
no.
girls are like getting up there and they're just like, I want to be a tiger when I grow up, and I'm just like, oh, you're gonna be
Has
so
Barbie been a
disappointed.
tiger? Let's see Tiger.
Number 7. Wow.
Wow, interesting.
I was like, what? And it's just like I want to be an astronaut, and I'm like, oh, I love you guys so much. You're probably
Astronaut
not gonna be
tiger.
any of these things. Definitely not a tiger.
Adorable that your dreams aren't gonna come true. Oh man, I just love it so
Let's
much.
talk about disappointment.
Let's make that the episode.
You know what? This can go hand in hand with goals. So
You're not wrong.
could be a perfect segue.
So are you saying in 4th grade when you didn't want to be a marine biologist, were you already thinking about radio then?
I know this is gonna sound made up, but
That's the best story already.
Yeah, but I've wanted to be a radio personality since kindergarten. Like that's all I've ever wanted to be.
Who did you hear that you're like, I want to do that? I don't know why that's your voice. But
Yeah.
that is.
I just
radio DJ.
Well, there was like
Chuck Chuck. Let's go.
I'm gonna do
Howard
that.
Stern. It's like that's me.
See you and Howard clicked.
Yeah, that was it. Well, okay, so my aunt worked in radio, and so my mom was a single mom. And so I was raised by a village, and the village was my family. And so my aunts would, be taking me out or whatever, like bringing me to work sometimes. And my aunt Amy Jo worked at a radio station in Philly, like it's now iHeart Radio Philly, but at the time it was Clear Channel. And she worked on the promotions team, and so she would like do events and stuff and like do concerts like Jingle Ball and like Q Concert, and that I would go to all these events with her.
So you had an idea of like all the behind the scenes, what
Yeah.
everything looked like at such an early age.
Yeah, and so I just was like going to all these events, and I'd see these radio personalities on the stage, like introing all these artists and doing these interviews, and I remember like wanting to do that and like that wanting to be what I, that was my dream. And then it was just like even in my brain, like do you know the movie You've Got Mail?
Yeah.
Okay, so that came out like 1999. It's like one of my favorite movies.
it did.
I remember watching it, and I would have been 9 years old, so I would have been like the 3rd grade. And I remember going, oh, I want to live in New York one day, and so I'm going to have to like start my career early so I can get to New York at like
who
a
does that
later
at that
time.
I need
age?
to meet
What?
Tom Hanks in this diner.
I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle at that age, and it's working out great for me. We have to get done because I've got karate soon. I wear a lot of
gi is
purple.
in my
Normally I
backpack.
wear purple, and I live in the sewer.
Rocking that hat.
You
Alright.
are, I see it.
Donatello, the best turtle. I will fight you. I will fight
He
every
literally
single
will
one
with
of
his
you.
karate.
I will fight everybody.
Oh my God.
So you
had-
fell in
that's
love.
insane.
You fell in love with radio and New York.
Yeah, which
Right
is
away.
it's
Ninja
so
Turtles.
and that like dream never Ninja Turtles, yes.
Just specifically the sewer of New York, but still New York nonetheless.
Love the subway. So I always wanted to do that. As I was picking colleges, so Jordan and I went to the same college.
We did.
And they had a great media program. But before that, I actually wanted to go to college in New York. There's a school here, very small, called the King's College. It's in the Empire State Building. And my mom was convinced I was not going to get accepted there. But guess who talked her way in? Because my grades were not reflective of anything that they were accepting. Quick sidebar. My mom graduated. She will tell you. Always magna cum laude from her college. She's very academic.
That's what she says before her name.
Yeah.
Hi, magna cum laude.
Nancy.
Nancy. But Nancy. Okay.
Okay, that's
All
it.
right, well,
but like she was so just like always about like we were so different. Like I remember my mom telling me stories about how she would like turn down dates because she had to study, and I was like, what? And so like
Okay,
I
nerd.
know.
Oh my God.
My mom was like so much more nerdy in that sense than I was, and my brother's like that. He's just so has like a 4.0.
responsible. That's
Yeah,
that
that's
word.
it.
What's that word? How did you say that? Is that Italian?
Responsibile.
Yeah.
Responsibile. Is it a ble?
Yeah,
Responsibile.
I don't know what that word is,
Right.
but like.
The turtle code states.
Wait, hold on. Is there
Master Splinter.
sidebar to the
has-
sidebar? Is
Sure.
there an actual turtle code?
Sure, it's pizza and turtle power and
I don't-
breakdancing. A
you're
lot of
making-
breakdancing.
Nice.
Just winging this again.
No,
I do.
it's true. It's true. It's real.
So Nancy.
So anyways,
she's
so she
slaying the
would
books.
always get so frustrated because I was never someone who really took my academics that seriously. I just didn't care as much. And so I remember she'd be like, you're not going to get accepted to any schools. And then I applied to King's College, which was like, that's like very academic school. Like there's only 200 students that really go there. And so you have to have really good grades to get into the school. And I, did a phone interview. I toured the building, and my mom, I'll never forget her opening up the letter from the school after I applied, and her jaw just dropped. And she's just like staring at me, and I was like, what? And she was like, I've never seen an acceptance letter like this. It essentially said, you're not what we normally accept into the school, but we really like you.
It's like a backhanded
Yeah.
acceptance
And like,
letter.
if you take this course over the summer or whatever, like, here's what we'll do. But like, they was just like, you don't have the grades, but we really like your personality.
Wait,
Which
wait,
was
wait,
the
wait,
story of
wait,
my
wait,
life.
wait, wait.
It was like,
So-
I just like you. I just like you for your personality.
Yeah.
What
I
did
don't
you
see us
What did you
together.
say to? Okay,
That's a good point.
so thank you for joining us today, Miss Gervasi. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
So why do you think you are? Is it King's Academy? Was
King's
it called?
College.
King's College. Why do you? Can we add some regal music in post?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why do you think you are King's College material?
Well, I know what I want to do, and I want to go into radio or television, and like I would love to go to school in the media capital of the world. Like I've always known what I wanted to do, and I just feel like this would like launch me into amazing career opportunities, and I just think it would be a really great fit. I love that it's such a small school. It's very intimate, so I can have more of a better relationship with professors, and I just feel like this would be an incredible opportunity for me.
Let me write you a backhanded acceptance letter.
You know what? Listen, that was not backhanded because I was like, I knew exactly what my grades were, and they were
Right.
not even close to a 4.0.
That's
so I was just
fantastic.
I was like, damn. All that to say, at the last minute, I didn't go to King's College. I was at a college fair, and
Did
Asbury
you write
approached
them a letter
me.
and say like, I really appreciate you guys for your personality.
What's enough jerk
However,
faces?
Yeah. But like, listen, I went to Asbury because they had such a great media comm department. And at the time, they were the only college that was sending students to the Olympics because the head of the MediaCom department sat on the board for the Olympic Broadcasting Services. So I kind of saw that as, ooh, that's going to be a great opportunity. I was looking at the places that they've sent people to. And at the time, I started going like, do I want to do TV? Do I want to do radio? Do I want to do both? And I wasn't really sure. And so that's how I ended up at Asbury. And after, I want to say it was into my sophomore year, I got my first job at what is now iHeartRadio, Clear Channel, Lexington, and I've been with the company it will be 10 years in January. Yeah.
The fact that you went to school for
Unreal.
a thing and you are now doing
It's
work
rare.
in that industry in that same
It's rare.
thing is incredible. Yeah. Yeah. The number of people I know
Thank you.
who work at Starbucks because they got their master's in English. Aaron, I love you. Aaron, if you're watching, Aaron,
I know I'm making you a cappuccino,
You're a real-
but let me
you're
tell
a
you
real
about
bro.
our history for 5
you're a
minutes.
real bro.
Let me tell you about something.
I went on a date one time with an art history major, and I'm like, what do
no.
you even do? And he
What did
definitely
he-
didn't do anything
And
close
so the
to art
wedding,
history.
what date is the
Probably,
wedding?
I don't
the
even know.
wedding is on
It's weird.
next
They
season,
didn't
next
say
year.
the date, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's in the mail.
Mine, I got mine. It's a magnet.
Well,
it was
that,
real cute.
That hurts. Okay. You literally
We
just
just
met him
met,
today.
and I got a magnet.
I preemptively knew we would be friends, so I sent him a save the date to my artistic fiance. It's a wedding.
Oh my
Turtles
God.
wouldn't do that to each other. Just saying.
Love a good
powers.
callback.
Turtles all the way down.
So you are making it. You have been on this like singular path, right?
Mm-hmm.
So have you had to be active in setting those goals, setting those milestones? Have you seen like where this path was going to take you years before?
Anytime I have made, obviously my goal, like I stated, my goal was to move to New York, and I live in Los Angeles, so
Right, so
that
clearly
did not work out.
things deviated.
But you know what though? Anytime, it's funny. Like I now learned to make loose plans for my life, but still, my whole thing is work hard, be a genuinely good person. And hopefully everything will fall into place. Have an idea of something you'd want to do, at least like in just.
I'm sorry, can you start that list again? So you said work hard,
and don't be an
work
asshole.
hard, and be nice. That's the word you used?
Yeah,
Let me
nice.
write-
Be
This
nice.
is for a friend of mine. I gotta write this down.
No, for sure.
Okay,
But like
hard,
like
nice.
I had all of these ideas of like where I wanted to end up, what I wanted to do. And guess what? Sometimes that changes. It changes all the time. Yeah. Like I was in Austin. So it was funny. After Jordan and I graduated, we both ended up in Virginia Beach because that was where my first full-time job was.
Still there.
Shout out.
Yeah. Him and his wife, Hannah.
Two up, two down.
Shout out to Virginia Beach. And I was there for about 10 months and then went to Austin, Texas. And I was there for 6 months. And I remember my boss there, who was wonderful. His name was Jay Shannon.
He's a listener. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a listener. Cool.
Big fan.
He said to me, he's like, oh, where do you want to go after Austin? And he knew the offer was coming from LA and I did not. And I was just like, oh, well, my plan is I would love to go to like a market like Philly or DC or Boston, but then ultimately end up in New York. Like I want to end up at Z100 in New York.
So here's LA.
So
Yeah.
here's
So
the opposite
he
idea.
goes, well, what about Los Angeles? I was like, I've never been there. I would never move to LA.
And then you took a drink just like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then you woke up like, how did I get on the West Coast? We eat dinner at 6 p.m. And then you're eating dinner.
What is happening?
how do you do this?
Yeah, so now 6 years later, I am still in Los Angeles, and I really have fallen in love with that city. And again, goals change, right? As you continue to accomplish more things, you set different goals for yourself, since that's what
Right,
we're
you have
talking
a better
about.
outlook. You have a better idea
Yeah.
of what that looks like as you get further down that road.
It was so funny though, because like I have friends, in Los Angeles, obviously, there are a lot of people who pursue acting or comedy or whatever it is. I have a lot of friends who are in the industry, and I have friends that know that are still trying to, quote unquote, make it or whatever. And they always say,
I don't know if we've introduced ourselves.
I'm trying so hard. I got a list though.
a
Work hard.
podcast
got
called
the
Alex Tries Her Best. You should listen. But like a lot of my friends are under this impression that because I've quote unquote like made it, whatever that even means, that all the anxiety subsides and I can
God.
just like do it. And I'm like, oh, you're in for a rude awakening, because then the anxiety just manifests in a
Right, then
completely
you have to
different way.
maintain it.
Yeah.
And then set higher,
I was
loftier
like,
goals.
I was talking to one of my friends and he was just like, I mean, you don't like get it because you've like made it. And I was like, I had
You're not one
a
of us
full
anymore.
breakdown, but I was like, I had a breakdown in my shower the other day because I was like, oh my God, is this all I'm going to amount to? Like, that is just where I'm constantly at. And so like, again, like you continue to just make different goals for yourself because you're like, oh my God, I don't want to peak. Like, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's what it looks like.
You got to keep raising that bar
Yeah.
for yourself. You're
It's-
constantly having a panic
Just
attack.
cut
Yeah.
to me watching Avengers 2 for the 9th time, covered in Dorito dust. And I, too, am crying. And then the tears and the Dorito powder are making this weird
Paste.
cream, like a
Weird-
paste.
Yeah, nice.
Ew.
Yeah, which I sell. You can go to
Please don't do
IDWGU.com.
this.
Oh,
Please don't
it's
do
not.
this again.
We're not selling that yet?
Not again.
Okay. IDWGU.com. You can buy it on the store. It's a brilliant cream. You smell
So looking
delicious.
back, let's not talk about Dorito finger
Thank
paste.
you.
Wait, I want to ask
ever
one
again.
question.
Oh,
So-
please don't let it be about.
No.
Okay, good.
So a Dorito cream. No, just kidding. So you talked about when you were a kid, you knew that you wanted to be in radio and you wanted to be some sort of a host or DJ, like along those lines. Did you ever create
Yep, sure
radio
did.
shows?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I did too.
On my grandparents' Windows 98.
Yes.
With that little microphone.
Yep. Yes.
That every
The
window
one, the Bob
gateway
Barker-
computer.
the
Yeah.
Bob Barker
Yeah.
microphone. Yeah. It's like-
Absolutely. I had guests on, but I was off.
Wait, who were your
Yes.
guests?
I don't
You
even
were-
remember. I don't
Teddy
even
Ruxpin,
remember.
ladies and gentlemen. Hey! And his mouth is moving.
It's Barbie in tiger mode. Yeah. She's
An
back
actual
again.
tiger. Woods.
Tiger Woods.
Oh my God, maybe that's what the little kid meant when she said, I want to be a tiger. She
shoot.
just meant Tiger Woods.
Just wanted to play golf.
That's it.
Real goals.
So do you remember any
zoom
of the
right in on you.
shows? Do you remember any of the shows that you used to record?
What kind of questions did you ask?
I have no idea.
Yes,
I just
you
remember
do.
Do
Don't
you
lie.
remember? This is a safe place.
I can tell it is because you're instantly
Yeah,
pouring more,
she's
more
like, I don't
tequila into
remember.
your. I don't
It's-
remember.
It's all over the.
Please stop talking to me about this.
Oh my God, I should do my podcast with tequila.
Yeah. Do
Why?
you ever drink
It's
on yours?
literally the
No.
best.
It makes it so much better.
Why don't I do that? Well, I'm technically at work. That's,
Well, you know,
no, but
same.
we have tequila. I'll never. I'm like, can I tell the story?
Yes.
Yes. you can.
I one time, it's just where we work. There is sometimes, alcohol or whatever that is just there.
Alcohol or whatever,
Yeah.
cocaine, whatever.
Definitely not cocaine. We'll say that. We have some standards in Los Angeles when it comes to radio.
We eat dinner at 6.
Yeah.
Like
you hooligans. Yeah.
Hooligans. There was time though, because now weed is completely legal in California.
What?
The best thing. The best thing though was when that happened, we got a whole staff email from the building. It was just a reminder, just because it's legal doesn't mean that you can smoke in the building. Please don't do that. But
However,
anyways,
Do it in the back alleyway like the rest
but
of
we
us.
can have we'll have a full bar there. But I want to say it was last year. I was going through a breakup, and one of my bosses came in, and she's like, "Girl, here, we're gonna get you a shot. It's fine." And I was like, "Thank you
boss
so
said this?
much." I was sobbing.
We're going to cope in an unhealthy way right now.
Yeah,
Here
it
you
was
go.
great.
The
What was
best
the
way.
original question you asked me?
Radio DJ shows as a kid. You remember the
Like-
titles and you remember the guests. Go.
I don't. I really don't. I just remember recording all of them, and I would just be talking to myself, which again is essentially what I do
Were you
for my
interviewing
career.
yourself?
Yes,
You were
of
just
course.
were you pretending you were being interviewed or you were doing
don't-
interviewing?
I don't-
Alex, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks so much, Alex.
Oh,
It's
good.
I
You
really
have
really
like a
nice
can't
to meet you.
personality
remember.
disorder.
Yeah,
Good.
great.
Great.
No, it's so funny because yes, I think we all did that.
Yes. The answer is yes.
But
So
anywho.
I remember recording songs off the radio and then incorporating those songs into my radio show.
Oh my God.
So I would
Yes.
intro
Do you
the
make your own
shows.
mixtapes
But
to
the
put in?
problem is radio DJs always talk over the songs
Yeah,
before
yeah.
and
The intro,
after.
yeah.
And the intro and the outro. So it's I'd be talking, and it's next up we have Collective Soul. And then you hear the other radio DJ introing the song at the same time. Shut up, Kirk. It's me. It's my turn. It's my turn to intro this song.
See, I didn't even do that, so that's a whole other
wow.
level.
Yeah.
But you know what I
Who
would
does
do?
that?
Be on radio.
No one does that.
I was gonna say what I did do, and I was just it's so funny because I deal with kids like this. But I would call into Radio Disney and request songs all the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they hated me.
Did they know you? They're like,
I don't know.
She's
I'm-
back on the line.
Listen,
Get her out of here.
It's I know the listeners that call over and over and over again. I'm oh my God, this is a
God.
full circle
You
moment.
have regulars?
Oh yeah. You
no.
get people that show up to your events.
I remember
It
I
gets really
literally called
creepy.
into your show as a bit in Virginia
Did you
Beach.
really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I had.
you
to.
And called into her show?
I did because she was she was asking people to call
No,
in.
I was begging.
And she said, someone call in.
It was a brand new station.
and I
No one
called
listened.
in and I used an accent that I won't use nowadays because reasons.
wasn't
Was it
great.
me?
It wasn't
Was it
great.
me?
It wasn't
It
great.
was problematic, I'm sure.
It was offensive, and I don't want to have that anywhere else.
Yeah.
Going around the internet.
Yeah, cool.
But you took it very respectfully.
Yeah, I'm sure it was
and
just as problematic.
I was.
Wait, what year was this?
2013.
Yeah, not that long ago.
So it wasn't Borat.
No.
But I remember
Everyone was doing Borat
I won't tell
when
you
Borat
what I
came
did,
out.
what the
No,
voice
we're
did, but
not.
I remember we texted her afterwards, and she said, "Oh my God, that was Jordan," and she goes, "I knew that was actually a white guy."
Yeah.
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 I could tell. I was like, well, still got to work on that accent, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
gonna do it.
No, I would have, so in Virginia Beach, that was not my favorite market I've ever been in. But, Jordan,
Good old VA?
I will say
Commonwealth?
this, Jordan and Hannah were my saving grace. They were the people
Same.
that made me
Same.
sane always like it just was so much fun to be there with them.
I know this is not really in childhood territory anymore,
That's
unless
fine.
you count us being like 22 childhood.
Yeah,
That's
babies,
basically
tiny
childhood.
babies,
Yeah.
tiny
Tiny
brand new
children.
babies in the nursery. Looking at
And
them
this
through
has
glass.
nothing to do with goals, but it's just one of my favorite stories
Oh,
and
please
memories
share it.
ever.
I can't
remember
wait.
it was the first New Year's
Oh
that we
my
had
God.
been in Virginia Beach. We are children.
Yeah.
We know nothing.
We were 23.
We know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Alex had this event at a
Crowne Plaza.
Crowne Plaza this
Hotel.
hotel.
Oh.
And she said, "It'll be fun. Like, let's go. You guys don't have any plans. We don't know anybody. We've both
It's
been
not
here.
like you're doing anything
We've
only been
anyway.
here for like 5 months.
Yeah, no time. So we know nobody. I'm in grad school. I have like $3 in my bank account. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. And so my wife and I, we all load up in my Mitsubishi Galant.
Also, I called,
Yeah.
and I
Whoa.
still call
Yeah.
Hannah and Jordan our mom and dad. Like,
Yeah.
they were literally mom and dad for
Literally.
me and
So,
Hannah, and we're all the same age, but it
go to
just goes
this
to show
event.
maturity levels.
We go to this event. We're like, well, we need to get drunk because we don't know anybody and we need to make friends.
And we're also not cool.
And
in
we're
this
also
line, in
the furthest thing from we are children who are not cool.
yeah,
okay?
we're not cool at all.
If there were lockers, we would be getting stuffed into them. Okay, and so we drink far too much.
Oh,
and then
my God.
I remember.
I don't
my
know where you're
wife
going
goes
with this.
home
I'm so
early
nervous.
because she's like, I just need to not be in public right
She
now.
took the Galant home?
She took the Galant home.
Oh.
And no, I think she got a ride home. She like Ubered home, and then Alex
Was
and I
Uber a
left.
thing?
Yeah, it was.
Really?
It just started. Yeah.
Whoa.
Brand new,
Yeah.
right out of the gate.
Early adopters.
I don't remember exactly how people got wherever because I had alcohol in my
Yeah.
body, but I do remember standing in a 7-Eleven with Alex and staring at taquitos.
Oh.
And Alex was like, 3 of them
Now.
now.
I don't even remember this.
And then we were eating taquitos in my apartment at like 2 a.m.
Excellent.
And-
Excellent life choices.
And then we all the next day we all just sat in like sweatpants and watched
was so
Netflix
hungover.
Oh,
for
that's
like
brilliant.
12 hours.
I actually was looking at pictures from that night on my phone the other day, and I
was
was wearing a
amazing.
very sparkly, I'm sure, express dress, and
Sounds like I probably was
just
too.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. I had
almost wore that
very
today.
heavy makeup on. I'm sure it wasn't great, but
Hair
you know,
was not small.
no, it was
Probably.
not small. You know, I love big hoops, big hair, big everything, but like I was just like literally just had a blown out hair with a lot of layers, and it was just. I looked older then than I do now.
Yeah, that's
Like, I'll
probably
never
true.
forget
and I
going
look like
to a
I just
wedding.
got my driver's license
Yeah.
and I was excited to go to a party.
please?
Mom and Dad gave me the car for the night.
Have you seen the keys to my Mitsubishi Galant?
Actually get really upset because that was the same year that I went to a wedding and someone mistook
Oh,
is it
no.
mistook or
Mistooken.
mistaken?
Mistooken.
Mistooken.
Patagon took.
No, it's not.
Keep it going. Keep
Yeah.
it going.
Sorry, tequila.
Yeah.
But
Ba-da,
someone
ba-da.
thought that I was my friend who is older than me's mom. And
Oh no.
she was just like,
yes.
"Oh, that woman in her 40s," and I was like.
You're like, I need to fix some
I
things
was
about my life.
22 at the time.
And so at that point you made a mental note. You're like, my goal is to not look 3 decades older. Than
I got
am.
really upset because someone commented on my Instagram the other day, "You look like a hot 40-year-old." And I was like, listen, I'm 29 and there's nothing wrong with being 40, but no one wants to be told that they look 11 years
Was it
older than
someone
they
from
are.
King's College, like with those backhanded?
It was
you look like a beautiful,
It was the dean of
middle-aged
admissions.
woman.
Just the same guy with
And
like.
then I just like
Alex Gervasi.
I was instantly brought back to when I was 21 and I was like, "Oh my God, do I just constantly look so much older than I am?"
I hope this letter finds you well.
written in with a quill.
Yeah, and by candlelight.
Right, of course.
I rode here by horseback.
He's wearing a
to
sweeping
write you
cap
this
like
letter.
Ebenezer Scrooge. Anyway,
upsetting.
all right, guys, we need to move on. Because
So
we've been-
so goals as a kid. It's clear that Alex had very clear cut goals.
Yeah.
And she's
Maybe
in that
still has.
space.
She's just,
now.
like,
Well, I mean,
given
initially
up.
as like a kid, she kind of set out to do things with her life, and now she's there.
Yeah.
I can't say the same. Jordan, can you say the same?
What do you guys do? I know what
Me?
you do. What do you do?
I do video work and practice a lot of karate in the
Cool.
sewers
with
Okay,
a
we're back
purple
to
with a
Ninja
bandage.
talking
Turtle
rat.
things. Cool.
So just fighting crime. Just
No
really,
big deal.
just really simple stuff.
Vigilante.
Vigilantism, casual vigilantism.
Just in love with a news reporter who wears a yellow jumpsuit. But
Wonderful.
interspecies relations
A nice
are
tasteful bob.
still-
she has.
No, I do video marketing work.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just so your listeners know, what do you
just
do?
for my listeners, I write on news and current events for a goofy parenting website called The Dad. Go
And
check
he's
us out.
damn
and then
good at it.
constantly is like popping up on my meme pages that I follow, and
He's
I'm just
good.
like,
That boy
Check us
good.
out. We got
He-
that
that- he
meme
good.
game.
yeah,
That boy quite good.
he
Going
good.
strong.
So yeah, that's it as a kid. I mean, Alex had goals. She reached those goals,
She's
and we're gonna
hopefully
talk
making more
about
goals?
We're making more goals.
We're gonna
Flying
talk
the shot a little
about
bit?
what goals look like now as adults. But first, you put out a little Twitter poll today.
I did. We gotta
We
ask the
remembered.
people.
Yeah,
we
well-
We got to
remembered.
guess, but we got to ask the
I
people.
voted.
You did.
Oh.
I appreciate that.
Was I the only one who voted?
Oh, stop. We have a following. Don't
Alex
look at the
voted
numbers.
19 times.
Don't look at the numbers. We have so many listeners. That's right. Every week we give you guys a poll, a little question to answer to be a part of the show. And this week we asked you guys, are you a goal setter? With 3 different options.
I like you say with 3 different T's.
With 3
goal setter.
setters.
Setter.
Are you a golden setter?
I am. My name is Peanut.
And this
I
one-
love Lake.
I love Lake.
I love the lake. I said the. Can we roll the playback?
An actual dog
Did
would
I
say,
say the?
I love Lake.
I love
Anyway,
Lake.
It doesn't matter.
Ricky Lake.
We're alienating our guests. Let's stop. Let's just take a breath. All right. Are you
I
a goal
just did
setter?
like a Jim Halpert pant.
She
like,
Jim
look.
Halpert smirked the camera. Yeah, great. All right. Now, usually we take this from the least voted for to the most voted for answer, but I like to. We have 3 answers here. I'm going to go down the spectrum just
Okay.
to give you an idea. And
Hit me with that
Hit the
spectrum.
percentages of what we got. So right at the top, we got the meticulous 5-year plan. Not any of us, clearly. We didn't have like a Lisa Frank notebook in 4th grade.
I did.
Was it with your 5-year plan in it though?
I don't know.
Or was it
Maybe.
Was it your
It
script
was.
for your
next to the
your
cat and
radio
the dolphin
show?
and the rainbow? It said radio DJ.
No, I was doing like a lot of games of MASH. Remember that name?
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh my
Gosh.
god, we've never talked
Let's play
about
Mash
that.
right now.
I was gonna say that's a goal thing,
That's
right?
a serious goal thing, yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
outrageous goals, but yeah,
Yeah.
goals
I
nonetheless.
was
What was it?
Definitely doing
Marry, adopt.
No,
What was
it
it?
was mansion, apartment.
Man,
Oh,
Shack
house.
house.
Okay,
that's right.
Oh my God! I can't believe I remembered that.
Yeah, and then you do the spiral
Yeah.
to count, right?
Yeah.
And then you count
Oh my
down, and then you
God.
write all the name. You write the things down, right?
Throwback.
When was the last time you played MASH?
Yes,
You
this
know.
morning.
Someone give me
well,
a
you
pen
were
and a piece of
asleep.
paper.
You were asleep, and I played MASH by myself.
And your Lisa
which is
Frank
why I
notebook.
remembered what it was. Mansion, adopt. Who am I gonna adopt?
I was like,
gosh.
first off, those things do. I was like, mansion, adopt.
Yeah,
I
I
like-
live in Beverly Hills, and I've adopted Channing Tatum as my adopted son, who's older than me.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and whatever S and H.
So this is the person who's playing MASH every day and figuring out what their life is going to look
Yeah.
like 5 years down the road. None of us, clearly, and not a lot of our listeners, with only 14% saying they are those meticulous 5-year planners. I do want to know like what they're doing now. I wish we could have like follow-up questions. We should have call-ins. We should have people call in. Do you know anything about that?
Hi, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Have you ever done that?
a little bit.
Okay. Maybe we can talk to you about that after the
Did a
show.
guy
Yeah.
with like a weird accent ever call you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next answer. We have you're headed in the right direction.
Okay.
I want to be there.
Sure.
I'm not going to have the step-by-step guide.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not a treasure map.
If you were
to
playing the
get to-
Oregon Trail,
I
you were
don't
headed
believe
west.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going like there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a large amount of our answers, 62%.
Guilty.
That was me.
I voted for that
Yeah.
one. Headed in the right direction.
And then last we have, I'll start goals tomorrow. Goals are tomorrow.
You know what, though? I think that 2 of those things go hand in hand. I think the
Tell me more.
5-year plan and heading in the right direction, like those can fall under the same umbrella. And actually, this is a conversation I had the other night with someone, and I was just saying how, like, I'm just, you think about like what is in my 5-year plan, and I kind of always say like when it comes to stuff when you're thinking, I'm always thinking ahead. I don't know. Have you ever taken your strengths finders?
God, I really
Yes.
want. I've said
should.
I
I
wanted
have.
to for years. I've
Work
just
made
never
me
done
take it.
Yeah, well, so your first 2 always go hand in hand, and so I remember like for me, it kind of gave me like a lot of clarity on like how I work.
How long ago did you take that?
I took it about. I think we had to take it at Asbury at one point.
Okay, so you took it fairly early on.
But
Sure.
I took it recently. I want to say about a year and a half ago. I
Mm-hmm.
took it again. And so my first one is maximizer, and then my second one is futuristic, and those 2 go hand in hand.
Tell me about those
And
because I don't know what those words mean.
Yeah, so I didn't either, and I was like very confused by it, and it was so funny because like with maximizers, I do not like doing something if I do not see a point in doing it. Especially.
So the podcast, according to Alex Gervasi, is worth doing. I just want everyone to know
this is worth doing.
But also, that goes hand in hand with being futuristic because I'm constantly looking, how will this benefit me? How will this benefit our company in 5 years, right? Why are we making this choice? Because I'm always thinking long-term
You're always
goals.
evaluating that like ROI.
Yeah,
of
like
whatever you're doing.
Exactly.
Sure.
And so knowing that about myself was so helpful because there's so many times, and I think this is just kind of like the society that we all work in where everyone just is constantly busy for the sake of almost being busy.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would feel really lazy because I was like, well, everyone's telling me I should do this thing, but I don't want to do this thing. And I'm like, and I would be like, I'm just lazy. And then I saw this, I was like, no, I just don't see a point in doing this thing. And I'm not going to do it and waste my very precious time in doing it.
I mean, we all have like a certain amount of energy.
Yeah.
And then, like, you get to divide that out however you want to.
Yeah.
But if you're depleted, like once those things that you really want to invest in come along, you're not going to have enough in the tank.
Exactly.
Someday I'll learn how to do
Let
that.
me just say,
Right.
since this is a podcast about thinking of things when we're children and not, I don't know how I had the energy to do any of the things that I did when I was younger.
Right.
Because I'm going to be turning 30 in a few months, and I think about, especially when I was first starting my career, you know, when I was 19, I was working an overnight at the radio station on the weekend. So I'd come in at 10 p.m. and I'd leave at 7 a.m. on Saturdays and sometimes Sundays. And then I would somehow still go to the bar beforehand, or the days I was off, I'd go to the bar, and then I was still taking 20 credits. And I don't know how I did any of these things. And I was working a mall job, and I was freelancing.
Good grief.
Like, I was just doing everything.
Did you
I was
sleep?
doing, I didn't. And I still had so much energy. And now I'm like, I
Where
could
did it
do
come
any
from?
of those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a break to take a nap. Thank you guys. We'll be
from
right
tequila.
back. We're gonna.
More tequila.
There's plenty of couches in
Yeah.
this room that we're in right now. We're
Yeah.
gonna just all take naps.
But it's so, because I think about that, and I think like when you are young and you have like a lot of aspirations and goals and all this too, or you're thinking ahead of the things that you want. Like I'm the oldest in my family, as far as like out of all my cousins, and the second oldest is my cousin Jackson. He lives in DC and he's, I think, 25. He just turned 25. So, but my youngest cousin's in the second grade. So it's kind of like I have a lot of cousins who are in, looking at colleges this weekend, about to enter they're just started high school. And so even as I'm talking to them about like, hey, what are you thinking of doing? A lot of them, don't have an idea, but they have like a rough idea. Like they know what they're good at,
Sure.
which is even farther than, than most people are, right? To know what are you good at?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that actually interest you? Because God, we all remember being in high school and like trying to pick out a college and like the pressure and all of that. But that's something I think, like, even as I'm saying it, translates into adult life, right? Like,
Right.
I think what I've tried to do, because at least my industry, and I think so many industries in 2019 are changing so quickly, there could be a job for you that's not even created yet that
love
you
it.
could have
Yeah,
in
it's
5
fantastic.
years, right? And I just like,
fantastic.
I think about, I'm constantly marveling at my friend group because they're all just like so successful. It's so intimidating. Like,
Give me 3 people that you really. I know you
Really?
you'll
Mark
have to leave some people
Zuckerberg.
out, but give those people a shout out. I want to know what they're doing.
okay,
Why
so
you like it.
I love giving my friends shine.
Do it.
My one friend, DJ Head, he is one of my favorite people in the world. So he, when I started at KISS, about 6 months into it, one of the stations flipped and became a hip hop station to take on Power 106, which is the heritage hip hop station in Los Angeles. It's owned by the same people. For New York people, Hot 97. It's under the same umbrella. So they brought on Real 92.3. They brought in this guy DJ Head, and like he was still trying to like. At the time, I think he was really. I remember trying to hone in his DJing skills, and he was doing a personality, but he didn't have an official on-air slot. He was just DJing, filling in from time to time to DJ. They gave him like an overnight slot. Fast forward 5 years, he is now like, I don't know if you know, the Netflix show had just launched Hustle and Flow.
Yeah.
He's basically the Ryan Seacrest for the show. So he's the guy who spins scratches,
way.
and he introduced every single one. He's talking to the judges. What do you think? Like, he's literally doing that. And it's kind of wild because what's cool about living in a city like Los Angeles is I remember Issa Rae has this quote where she's like, it's not about the people that you make connections with that have made it. It's about the people who come up with you. And I've kind of like, now that I've been in LA for almost 6 years, I've seen a lot of that. So DJ Head's one example, right? Like, and he's just someone I adore him so much. And if you put us next to each other, we could not be more different people. I'm a white girl from the suburbs, and he is from South Central Los Angeles, and like is just he's just incredible. I love him so much. So he's one. My friend Alyssa, 3 years ago, she got her start doing like, I remember when I got to LA, she was doing social media for Radio Disney, and like she headed up the digital department there. She now just got the job, and she is never talking about it, and I'm shouting it to everyone who will listen. She's now head of label relations at Facebook for North America.
Holy crap.
What?
And
if you guys haven't heard of Facebook, it's this little startup.
Yeah.
They're working on it. I think they're going to make it.
I went, bitch, they gave you a continent? Like, that's exactly what I said when she said it to me, where I was like, they did what?
Should we rebrand?
Exactly.
I don't want to
I'm
grow up
just like-
North America.
Yeah, there you go.
And then another friend that I'm thinking of, I could really just go on and on, but you're asking for three. Another friend I really want to give shine to, and it's similar career path. When I first got to Kiss, he's one of my dear friends. His name's Sadeo. And Sadeo was running Ryan Seacrest's social media. So literally, like, Sadeo would just, like, follow around Ryan Seacrest and, like, take pictures of him and then be like, do you like this caption? And, like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you, like, just, you know, you have someone who, Ryan Seacrest does all the things. And, like, so he will capture the moments for Ryan. You know, he's not posing for them. He's just capturing in real time what these things are. And I'm just like surrounded by these people who are just doing incredible things.
Just like constant inspirations in your
No
life.
kidding.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, oh my God. Like, and it's like, or like my other friend Nelson, he just became a full-time producer at Apple Music. And he would answer phones for the morning show at Kiss FM when I first was there. And now it's just like, and everyone makes fun of me, but when I think about my friends' successes and like how far they've come in 5 years or 6 years and like what they're doing and like what they've overcome, like my friend Tanya, she just hosted the red carpet for the Emmys, and she was another one where when I first came in, she was answering phones and would sometimes chime in on the morning show. Like, that's it. And now she's hosting red carpets for E. And I would just like, I think of it and I get so overwhelmed because I think about how they've overcome so much, and a lot of people just doubting them.
Right.
And that's it. And they've just persisted and just like, no, this is what I'm going to do.
So
like,
instead of looking at those people and seeing that as this pressure to be like, oh, they're finding all the success, I need to be really working hard. I need to find that too.
See, that's the healthy way to approach it. The healthy way is to say, look at the great things these people are doing. I should apply the same amount of elbow grease to the goals I have.
well,
even
you know,
other than that, just seeing these people and being like, not even attributing it to yourself, just being able to be in those social circles, have genuine friendships, and be proud of those people, and live them up, and not feel this pressure to be like, well, I need to be up with them too.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? Like, there's so much. And so I had this conversation recently with another very, very successful person in my life. And I was just saying, like, I really suffer from imposter syndrome all the time. And I'm constantly just like, I'm not really good at this. Like, I'm like somehow fooling all these people, and like, this is it. And he said to me, he was like, and this is coming from someone where like, you wouldn't think at this level, like they would suffer from imposter syndrome. And he was like, everyone good suffers from imposter syndrome. He said, I always think like the people who just walk in a room, they're like, here's a script. It's great. He's just like, I normally, like, it's probably not going to be great. And he was just like, but when he said that, I was like, I guess that makes sense. The thing that I will say, though, is when I'm doubting myself, what I've really noticed this past year, I'm doubting myself a lot lately. And I have had so many people be like, we don't worry about you. And it's just like, I think even just having that support system around me to be like, no, you're going to be fine. Like, what do you want? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, and constantly challenging me on those goals to bring it back. Like, but then the other side of that is, oh my God, what if I let everybody down? It's exhausting.
The other day, my alarm went off. My wife was still asleep, and I
You're married. Congrats.
Yeah. I managed to get myself out of bed to go to the gym, and I needed socks, and I opened up the drawer, and I managed to pull out 2 socks that matched. So I got a lot going on
Already
here
a good day.
as well, goal wise. You've got friends doing some big things. I'm doing big things at 5:30 in the morning. So if your friends want to hit me up, you got some friends doing really big things. I got matching socks at 5:30
I don't
in
have
the
matching
morning.
socks, so
deal.
it's fine.
It's a big deal.
You
I
know,
don't have matching socks.
just
it's okay.
a lot of exciting things happening on my end of the spectrum. That's fantastic. I wish I had that sort of a resume to list off.
My
matching
resume
socks.
is the success of my friends. Like, not, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
it's just like
It's such a testament to what you said about just like be nice and work
Work
hard.
hard.
Wait, I gotta write that down again.
Hold on, yeah, make sure that's in there.
But
Email
you
that
know
to me.
what though?
was the second one?
I think also though for me, I've seen so many of the people who are so successful, what they have been doing. There have been a lot of failures along the way too.
Yeah, there have to
And
be.
I think that's something I have to remind myself as well. And man, it's just been so inspiring to see what everyone in my life is doing, but also just like it's kind of almost like I want to be in the room where it happens type of a thing, but like also wanting
Sweet
to
Hamilton ref.
Thank you. We're in New York. I think like, but for me, it's just like wanting to also, it just makes you want to work that much harder,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And so,
Inspiring.
yeah, it feels very inspiring and very intimidating at the same time.
And there's something about that. I don't know what it is. Like being friends with creative people who are in this industry, doing all these different things where they're so talented. I feel like the healthy way to look at that is to just say like, man, the amount of work they're doing and the amount that they still love. It's not like they're going in and be like, yeah, I'm a CPA and taxes again, doing it again. Like they're doing things that they genuinely love,
Yeah.
and you can see they're working their ass off.
Yeah.
And you're like, what am I doing? And not to say like, yes, we talked about that tank about
Yeah.
how you need to, it's not about laziness. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But still, like, have inspiring people in your life.
Yeah.
It'll do you wonders.
And that comes in so many different forms. Like
Sure,
obviously
sure.
I work in a creative field. There are people who are very creative, you know, that you're surrounded with or, you know, whoever you're meeting, but that can look different anywhere else, right?
Yeah,
like, and so
totally.
it doesn't have to be, you know, whatever I just rattled off to be inspiring in your life. Like it really just comes down to like nothing's better than the other thing. It just really comes down to like people who work really hard.
Right. What resonates with you?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be music or art or,
Yeah.
or video or anything that
Yeah.
that we've been talking
There-
about. It can be
Ninja
anything.
training.
It could be ninja training.
Yeah.
It will be.
It,
It will be ninja
It
training.
will absolutely 100% be.
Well, I also though think ironically like this year has been a huge year of me unraveling. Basically, I've realized I've wrapped so much of my identity into what I do. And I never want that
this is-
to be
yeah.
it either.
Not to cut you off, but this is like a really good transition because let's go to adulthood. Let's
Yeah.
figure out what does this look like now?
Yeah.
Setting goals, figuring out that we don't know what's ahead of us. Where are we
don't.
going from this point? When do we leave 368 after this?
yeah.
Where are
Oh,
we
we're
going?
at 368, ladies and gentlemen. We are in 368. Sorry, go ahead.
Like
Very
listen, like
excited.
there are all these other things I want to accomplish too, like outside of careers. Like I do want to get married one day. I do want to have kids one day. I want to have the career. I want to have all these different things. But like I've realized this year, like I was basically like, to be very vague about it. Like I was dating a guy and I was really intimidated, I think, like maybe by his success or whatever it was. And I remember it was like very early on and I was just like by myself and I was like, wait, why do I feel this way? And then I was just like, oh, you feel this way because you're scared that like what you do isn't going to be enough. And we're going to just squash that right there because I just was like, I am more than what my career is.
More than
and
what you do.
I'm very proud of what I've accomplished.
Sure.
And I think that like it's something to be proud of. I'm proud of the fact that like I work hard. I lived in 4 states in 2 years at one point, just like hustling and trying to get to Los Angeles and do this. And I'm proud of how I use my platform. Like there's so many things I'm really proud of, but it was also kind of came back to if you lost your job tomorrow, like are you going to be able to rest in who you are as a person? Like have you separated enough of that? And also what I realized, even though I was kind of relating this to like a guy situation, the moment I like kind of squashed that or at least started to try to, it also like oozed out into other areas of my life too, right? Like when you enter like
Tell me about that.
Well, like listen, when you enter a room and you're surrounded by incredibly successful people, realizing you
like
deserve
this
to
scenario.
be there.
Yeah, just so successful.
Sorry to be if you feel intimidated.
I hate you guys.
Matching socks. They're both black.
Oh man.
But like also being like, I have more to offer than this. And also, guess what? There are a lot of really shitty successful people out there.
Oh God.
So many. And you
Like
you
us.
realize that.
Matching
Listen,
socks.
You kind of realize that. And what I'm really proud of, and I have to say this, I've looked and marveled at my friendships this past year because not only are they inspiring career-wise, but they are inspiring and encouraging and wonderful people. Have unmatched character. There's one friend that I can think of who is so hardworking. She has not had a job this whole year because she walked away from a job even though they were going to offer her more money, all this stuff, because it didn't really line up with who she was anymore.
I wish I had
And
that,
she's
like,
an
level
Enneagram
of-
right?
3,
Oh,
and that's hard for her.
achiever.
And she was just like, I had to this past year, like she could have gotten a job anywhere. She had a whole team under her. She could have literally walked out that door and gotten a job the next day or whatever. But she was like, no, I am going to use this season to actually dig into what is very uncomfortable for me.
Not to
which is
alienate
this.
our listeners, but if anyone's a fan of the Enneagram, so Alex and I totally nerd out about the Enneagram.
We do. I did a whole podcast on
And
it. on my
Felix
podcast.
was there.
We are all 3 sevens. If anyone knows who we're talking
Which is
about.
why-
With a 7 wing. I'm a 7 with a 7 wing.
That
7.
doesn't exist.
What?
Stop.
No?
It's
Okay.
It's okay, baby bird.
Okay.
Just let me.
Take
So
his broken
basically, a
wing.
3 taking time. A 3 is an achiever. So a 3 taking time to really look inward at themselves probably feels like they're dying. Like it's the hardest thing to do, to not do something externally, to not achieve, to not go after something with this tenacity that other people just don't have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And she's one of the most inspiring people in my life.
Yeah.
And like, I just really I've looked at my friend group, and again, like I see a lot of people out there that will have friendships or collect these friendships of successful people or whatever. And I'm like, they're not great people. And also, what is that really adding to your life? And so at the end of the day, for me, I will not become close to you or have you in my life if you do not have wisdom, character, like just someone who's going to challenge me, hold me to a higher standard. Like I even said that the other night, like I am so impressed with my friends that constantly just hold me to a higher standard.
Sure. Especially in LA. Like that's it's a completely different culture.
It is. And so I just, I sometimes hear about like these successful people and who they really are behind their social media persona. And I'm like, gross.
Yeah.
Gross. And I never want someone to say that about me. Right?
Right.
Which I know you do, Jordan, but like
All the time.
I'm working on
Behind
that
her
for
back,
myself. I'm just
all the
like,
time.
just being aloof all the time. I just want people to be like, who
Guys, I just
is
want to do a
Felix?
quick.
remember I said a ghost story earlier?
Oh my gosh, I was just gonna go there. Okay.
I'm like thinking, but I'm just like, won't use her name, but
Brenda.
I'm so curious about how a ghost story fits in
Carol.
with goals.
okay,
Put
but
it in.
it
Let's
doesn't
make
fit in
that.
with goals. But
Oh,
it was
good. We're just
just
gonna get a
literally-
plain vanilla ghost story. I'm all about it. Let's
It's
go.
cool. I'm not
in.
scared. Go ahead.
So it
fine.
does link back to, I guess we could talk about childhood too. This could just be
Oh God, it's a childhood ghost
Oh,
story. Those are the
no.
worst.
There's two.
Oh my.
There's 2 ghosts?
Oh no.
There's two. Wait, should this be goals and ghosts?
Goals and ghosts.
Oh my God. Okay, so I've only seen one ghost, and it was when I was a child.
I love that you're just like confident. You're not like, I think I saw
No,
a
no,
ghost.
no,
one
I
time.
His name was
absolutely
Winifred, and he was a ghost.
No, I remember waking up. Actually, it's so funny. We just talked about this. My friend JoJo has a paranormal podcast,
Oh
and
my
so
God. JoJo, please have us on.
yeah,
I've never seen a ghost,
so
but I want to.
He's
I
great.
Know.
So he had. Do you know who Ryan Tedder is from One Republic?
Yeah.
Okay, we listened to One Republic together in Virginia Beach. I don't know why I have a very.
It's fine. You don't have to talk about it. It's fine.
So what was that like? You guys, just unpack that a little bit.
It's fine.
So
Continue.
he had Ryan Tedder come on his podcast to talk about an angel sighting, and then he comes to me and he's like, "Hey, you're a Christian." He's like, "Do you have pastors? Have any of them had an angel sighting?" And I was just like, I group chatted my pastors like, "Yo, have any of you seen an angel?"
I hope that was the actual text.
It was.
Yo, comma. Have any of y'all, and then a series like, did you mean you all? No. And delete, apostrophe LL, y'all. Okay,
See an angel. And then my one pastor responded, said, no, but I've seen a demon. And I was like, great.
Whoa,
And so
even better.
I know. So then I go,
No.
Jojo, do you want a demon story? And he's like, hell yeah, bring him on.
Hell
So,
yeah, no
like,
pun intended. There it is. Okay.
Pun. So then, anyways, I just told this story because he came in and then JoJo's like, oh, come in and like sit in with your pastor's podcast. And so I ended up telling this story on his podcast too. So I was just like, I've only had one weird ghost sighting. And I was like, I was a child and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm not like a restless sleeper, but for whatever reason, my body was like flipped. So like my feet were where my head was. Where my feet was where on my pillow, and my head is like hanging off the edge of the bed.
Already, though, I would be freaked out.
Yeah, and so
You weren't
I,
having like a gymnastics dream?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't. But I woke up just like randomly in the middle of the night, and I just was like, "What the hell?" And I like look at the floor, and there's 2 boots at the end of my bed.
Stop it.
And I just like look up, and there's just like a man at the end of my bed, like staring at my headboard, and I just was like blinking so many times. It was like, this is absolutely a figment of my imagination.
How
Like,
old
this
are you?
isn't real. I want to say I was like 10.
No, I don't like this. I don't like
And I
this
was just
story.
like,
This story's
I don't
not
like
good.
Oh my
this
God.
at all.
I don't like it.
And then I just kept staring at him, and I started praying. Hello, Christian girl. I started praying, and I was just like, I need you to remove this
Jesus.
from here. Yeah, Jesus, remove this.
Take the booted man away.
Please.
Wait, so what happened?
He disappeared.
No!
And then I just slowly just like went right underneath like my covers, and I was just like,
Because blankets are protective armor.
And
Chills my entire body.
Yeah.
Right now. Just cover.
Welcome to I Don't Want to Ghost Up, the podcast where we talk about
God,
the
you son of a
ghost.
bitch.
in
Yeah.
The
So,
boot ghost.
The boots
all
ghost.
that to say,
No?
I had a very fun weekend a couple weekends ago. For my friend turned 40. He just so much fun. We somehow started for his 40th birthday.
I've never been more excited for where the story's going. by the
Yeah,
way.
by
This
the way.
segue is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So we started at Lithuania Fest, which is
Okay, hold on a second.
I need a minute. Like a couple of them.
Stop. This is in LA.
Yeah.
There's Lithuania Fest.
Yes, and first off,
Everyone's blonde.
yes, and so
Okay.
what's so funny is my brother
come?
is a quarter.
No. Clearly no.
Why?
My brother is technically my half brother, and he's a quarter Lithuanian, and I've never understood what that
Lithuanian.
looked.
Shut
So
up.
literally, I FaceTime my brother
don't
drunk.
know.
I was like, Matt, I'm surrounded by a bunch of yous. And he was just like, what? And I was like, everyone here looks like you. I didn't realize how Lithuanian you were until this exact moment.
The number of times
And
I've
he's
gotten
like,
that sentence.
He's like 21, and he was just like, okay, I'm gonna go back to this party now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just like, what is happening? Like, he had no idea, like, what's going on. So anyways, then afterwards, it was like the most epic night ever because it was so random. So then we were like, where do you want to go for your, do you want to go to a bar now that we've gotten super drunk at Lithuania Fest? And he was like, we're going to Gelson's. And for people who don't know what Gelson's is, it's a supermarket. It's a supermarket chain.
Okay.
And so there's like 25 of us, and there's like apparently a bar at this Gelson's where in Los Angeles, you can just go to the bar and have someone shop for you because, of course.
Also, why
What?
isn't this a thing
everywhere. It's
Kroger?
called Sip and Shop.
There's a place called Lucky's in Florida. And they have a bar. They have a bar, but it's mostly just like beer and wine.
Yeah.
But you can't get someone to shop for you. You can take, and they have cup holders in the carts.
Yeah.
You can
You
take
just
around.
almost forget the word carts.
Some
You were like
Hey,
American
in-
Sign
in
Languaging.
in your Harley Davidson.
When
You can
you're
put your
in the grocery store and you
Do this.
sharpening 2 pencils
when
at the
you're
same time.
Back to the story.
Back to it.
So Gelson's, and so we walk in, and there's this like one just bartender who is only used to maybe having one customer at a time, and probably like a mom who's just tired and wants a glass of wine and needs someone to shop with her.
Pinot,
We all-
now.
We all roll in, and we're like, listen, there's gonna be a few of us, and she's like, huh? Her face is just like so scared, and
Drains
25 of us come in, and we're like, yeah, Gelson's, like literally like 40th birthday.
You just ragged on New Yorkers for like 30 minutes about how they're alcoholics, and y'all just go to a grocery store
Yeah, to
and
let
get,
someone
Oh,
else
no, we're
shop
alcoholics
for you
too,
while
but
you
like
sip.
reasonable alcoholics.
Reasonable
Like we're
alcohol.
still in bed by 10.
Yeah, of course. No, we need our nappy naps.
We're
Yeah,
recording
So,
this
gotta-
in New
anyways,
York, by the way,
two-
ladies and
two,
gentlemen.
like-
We're gonna get stabbed
Yes, but
after
like
this episode.
two literally just like like whatever. I'm trying to be as vague as possible.
Sure.
Afterwards, so they're from the East Coast and they're awesome, and so they have like they just build a basement bar, and so basement bars are big on the East Coast, but not in California because earthquakes. So literally,
do you have a basement bar? You didn't tell me.
Sorry, man.
Northeast, I should say, like Philly,
okay.
like New York, Boston.
I don't even have a basement.
So. Really?
Yeah.
Anywho, back to the story.
Okay.
So
Focus, man.
I'm trying.
First guest.
So
Act like it.
we like go to the house and like they've had some like weird like sightings that have happened at their house, and like to the point like where one of their contractors has seen something, and I'm like a Christian and I'm like not okay with it. But mind you, I'm also drunk. So I go into the house.
Drunk Christians love them ghosts.
Yeah. So I was like, I went into the house and I was like a little drunk and I was just like under my breath.
Dear Jesus,
I can't
pray
believe
you
literally
take
I
this
was like
ghost away.
I was just like
bind this evil spirit.
I literally was
Protect
like,
us under a hedge of
I went
protection.
Yeah.
got like my favorite part is I
have
got
no
Jersey
power
with my
here.
prayers. I was just like
Holy Spirit,
I went into like where the most activity has been, and I was just like, in the name of Jesus Christ, you got to get the out. I was just like,
This is only funny because we're all Christians, okay?
Yeah.
We can do this because we're one of them.
Holy Spirit,
I hope you know the last 12 minutes of our podcast are just praise and worship songs.
Yeah.
So, if you're ready, I might
We just
take a
play
guitar
G,
solo.
C, and D
like-
on the
I was
guitar
like-
and the number of songs that you
I
remember.
was just like, you got to get out. You can't be in my friend's home anymore. Like, get the out of this house. I claim this house in
I love that
Jesus'
you
name.
told a spirit to get
And
the
I
out
have
of this
Yeah.
house.
In the name of Jesus.
I also have my biggest hoops on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Obviously. And so I go outside. So we're all having a good like time in the
see the ghost
backyard.
packing up.
We go, like,
By
we're
Winifred.
in the back house, and her neighbor comes over and like whatever, like we're having a good time. The neighbor goes in the house to use the bathroom and comes out, and her face is like white.
Oh.
And I just was like, "Girl, you good?" And she was just like, not really.
prayer didn't
And she
work.
was just like, I was like, "What happened?" And she was just like, "Well, I'll." Talk to my friend, and she was just like, I think I saw that ghost you always reference. And she was like, what do he look like? And she was like, he was sitting at your dining room table, brown hairs, brown eyes, and just staring at me. And like we were just staring at each other. And then he disappeared. And then my ass, again, drunk like I am right now, I was like,
I'm going to go see him for myself right now.
I'm going to pray at him.
I'm going to pray to
I'm going
horse.
to pray right in his face.
I
Right
literally
out.
went right back into the house, and I was just like, I thought I fucking told you to get out of this house. I didn't see anything. I wasn't feeling anything. I was just like, I feel like you're making a mockery of me. You're making a mockery of Jesus, and I don't like it.
Look
Get out of the house.
Look, y'all told the Holy Spirit to come in here and get your ass out of here, and you're not doing nothing.
I didn't stutter the first time.
But I'm stuttering now.
This is my favorite Goals episode.
So anyways,
the goals.
all that to say, I don't know. My one friend said to me last night, or a couple nights ago, she was like, well, in all fairness, he did make his way down the stairs. So maybe he was
Also
on his
true.
way out.
Also
This
true.
is-
He was trying to get out.
Yeah, he was like, you guys are in my way.
He's like, I don't want to be rude. I'm going to sit at this table.
I literally
These
went back up
boots
to
are
this
made
girl and I was
for
like, hey, are you good? She was like, well, I'm not trying to like leave and be the weird girl that just saw a ghost at a party and
I
leave.
love that we got to just random exorcisms.
Ghouls. Goals and ghouls.
Goals and
I
goals.
love it.
This is my favorite thing I've ever
Absolutely
had.
I'm
love it.
sorry not to totally derail the conversation, but if you want to ask me one more question or whatever, I don't know. I
this
never
is
have time with
fantastic.
it.
We are actually, speaking of questions, so normally in this part of the podcast, after we talk about what our particular topic, in this case goals, was like when we were kids and now as adults, we jump into news time or quiz time. But since we have a guest on today, we wanted to jump into I guess what we're calling lightning round, just
Sure.
like just
Oh, I love a
questions.
lightning
So you
round.
see, Alex, you
I'm
are
never on the receiving end of this.
You are our first guest. So we decided to go with some first date questions.
Oh my God.
That's
I'm
right.
so
Yeah.
excited.
It's getting serious.
I haven't been on a date in so long.
Same.
Okay, let's not make it
Just
sad.
kidding.
It's fine. It's a date. It's not a sad episode.
It's actually not sad.
This is a fun episode. I know you're killing it. All right, Alex, we're gonna do a little lightning round with you. Just imagine we're at like a tasteful Italian restaurant.
This is the night. I like that Tom Haverford is singing.
Good. Good. I don't know why that's happening, but sure, go with that. We've all had our fill of garlic bread and
Yeah.
various pastas.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
One noodle between the three of us.
We've polished off a nice bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon. Wow.
Thank you. It's my favorite wine.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know, we know.
Well, you know.
Okay,
It's our job to know. It's our job to know.
So now we're getting to the nitty gritty, right?
Here we go.
So we're gonna give you 3 questions, and we could go around. We'll see how time goes. We don't know. So the first one, 3 things 3 things you would bring on a desert island with you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's one. That's
it doesn't.
one.
The shit is
So
one.
for farming, clearly.
Fertilizer. It doesn't have to be the right answer. It has to be your answer.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And I'm a little drunk, so I don't know.
Oh, we all
Perfect.
are.
Yeah.
We all are. We'll go around. We won't make it. You won't do this alone.
I want to say I want to bring my cat Winston, but I also then had to feed him, and I can't do that.
that's so many more things.
That's so many more
He's
things.
adorable. He has his own Instagram account.
Yeah, he does. Win the ragdoll.
In the ragdoll,
I'm
ladies
so
and
happy
gentlemen.
we called that out. Okay.
Yes. Oh dear God, I gotta think about that. See, a planner. I'm a planner, so I really need to give
are
you
a
a
planner.
day.
You would bring a
of,
planner
like,
to the
what
desert
it
island?
is. I'm just like
My
trying.
planner is one of the things I bring.
Yes.
So I know
That's
that's
what
what
I-
things.
A boat.
A boat.
Look at you.
Okay, smarty pants.
Yeah, all right. You're on a desert
Cheat
island.
the system.
My phone, but there's no reception.
You don't,
we don't know
have a
that.
charger. You don't. Maybe there.
We don't know.
5G's a thing now.
Where is the island? Is it like Long Island?
It's in. You're in Long
You're
Island.
in Long Island for the
and,
day.
Is it Staten Island?
You just walked out.
Catalina for my West Coasters?
Out of the Tannin Salon.
Look at Jordan's
And,
look at his Long
you got-
Island
So
accent right out of the gate.
I'm on Catalina Island.
Yeah.
The Catalina wine mixer is happening.
Pow.
I don't know. I'm so bad at these
You bring
questions.
a nice Chardonnay.
I don't
it's
like
a first
Chardonnay.
date.
No one likes
You're on a
Chardonnay.
first date with me and Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is getting very complicated.
Yeah.
Desert Island. Let's go.
Okay.
Focus.
Sorry.
So,
a
okay,
knife.
is it-
A knife.
A knife is good.
Okay,
A
a knife
knife.
is
That's
good.
good.
Matches
Ah, yeah. Okay.
and a boat.
Knife, matches, and a boat.
Yeah.
To set the boat on fire.
Hi, Felix. I'm
I
going to,
like
Yeah.
it.
I'm going to you next.
To me?
Yeah, because I asked the question,
Oh.
and I'll do it last.
Okay, my Nintendo Switch.
Oh, come on.
It's my hypothetical situation.
I love a Nintendo Switch.
There's
She's a switcher right here.
hey.
All right, bring
I
your
would
Switch.
bring my Switch, my camera, and I don't know what my third one would be. I didn't know what the question would be thrown through me. I didn't know it was gonna be like at me.
That's why. We have to get everyone the same panic we just gave Alex.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. You already have a knife, so I don't need to bring a knife.
Oh, are we all on this island? We're all bringing different things?
I don't know. I didn't make this
I
up.
Let's say yes. Let's
Yeah.
say yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
3 of us. We just
boat,
crash landed.
knife,
Boat,
matches,
knife,
Nintendo
a sail.
Switch.
I would bring a sail.
We are You've Got Mail's Tom Hanks turning into
Who wants to
into
row?
Tom
Yes,
Hanks
to
from
row.
Who
Castaway.
wants to row? Not me. I got a
Wilson.
sail. I got a Switch so we can hang out and play some Zelda.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? I said
Oh my
know.
God. Take his glass away.
it's empty. It's completely empty.
I just need us to show this is all tequila.
Yeah, it is.
This
You
is
have to-
just
Same.
straight
This is
tequila.
all tequila.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of my day. Continue.
And then I guess I would bring, I don't know, my one wheel. I could just cruise
Get
around.
outta here.
I'll just cruise around on
It
the
can't
island.
work on a beach. That
What do you
loose-
mean it can't work on the
that
beach?
loose sand?
You know what
Maybe
kind of
packed sand.
island this is.
Whatever.
It could be a lot
I
of packed
need
sand.
more of y'all to bring knives so we can kill all the
Whoa.
animals.
You brought a knife.
I need more of y'all to bring knives so we can duel and find out who's the strongest. There can only be one, guys. There can only be one.
All right, Jordan,
All right,
what would
fine.
you bring?
You know what? I'll take a
Yeah, I
request from
wanna
the
know.
audience, and I'll bring a
Tell me.
knife.
Does everyone
bring
want to
it.
hear?
What did you-
I just snorted.
Oh, you were right in the microphone too.
Hey.
Good. I'm gonna take the levels and just really drive those
Just
up
forever
right then.
captured.
Perfect. I'll bring a knife because Alex asked me to.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring. What else am I gonna bring?
I don't know. It's your question.
I'm gonna bring those little elven crackers from the Lord of the Rings. That's like one bite.
No.
Can fill a grown man's stomach for 7 years.
Because
or whatever it
Samwise
is.
would
Wow,
eat them all.
Tolkien reference. What a
Samwise would either eat them all or
Christian
throw them off
oh,
a
come
cliff.
on! We went to the same school.
I know, but same.
And then I'm bringing a volleyball to turn to a best friend.
Yes, Wilson. What's the next question?
Ew.
Next question. Yeah, those are really long.
Okay, I got it. Next
You got
question.
it,
Next
you got
question.
this.
Next question. Okay, here we go. What is a special skill that you have that a lot of people don't know about?
I hate questions
hate
like
Great.
this.
questions
Okay, so
like
third
this, too.
question.
I hate questions like this. A special skill I have. Oh,
You need to think we can.
You know what?
time
No,
for that.
I mean,
you don't
I
need-
I do know actually. Well, it's just something that always surprises people, and I haven't done it in years. I just did it for the first time since I graduated from college in 2012. I actually went to school on a percussion scholarship. I'm a drummer,
I did know this.
and
Give me a paradiddle right now.
No.
These two fingers, give me a paradiddle. Give me.
First off, The fact that you
paradiddle.
just
So
said
Felix is a drummer, by the way.
The fact that you know what a paradiddle is my favorite thing ever.
Paradiddle, Come on, your turn.
No, I'm not doing it. So it was like so funny because when I found a practice room in LA and I was like, oh my God, I haven't touched a drum set since 2012 and I'm so bad. Like I'm so bad. But it was really nice to do and get back in. I just get really shy around other people because I'm like not good at it. But I still had like a scholarship. I
That's
don't
your
know.
imposter syndrome talking.
Will you have
you are
Travis
really good.
Barker on your podcast so you guys can just play drums together?
That'd be fun.
Oh my
Alex
gosh.
tries drumming. Yeah, no, that's just something that always surprises people about me.
When was the last time you
This morning.
paradiddled a drum?
A couple months ago, a few months ago.
No way.
Yeah.
That's more recently than you paradiddled.
That's the first time I would have paradiddled if I'd ever done it.
Yep.
If I'd ever diddled a paradiddle.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
All right, third
yeah.
question. What you got?
All
He's a
right, we're gonna
worship
go
team
around. We're gonna
drummer,
go around.
FYI.
Yeah. We're not gonna answer these questions, but this is a good one. How do you think you're gonna die?
If you had to
Okay.
speculate,
This is my favorite question.
If you had to speculate how you thought you were going to exit this world,
I think I'm just gonna hopefully die of old age and in my sleep.
But do you think honestly that's how? It's
will the
gonna be?
ghost be there? In his
I don't wanna
boots?
question you.
Honestly, I'm so clumsy. It will probably happen in a much more dramatic way.
Hey guys, I got a charcuterie board and
I should have. Wait, honestly, that's probably how it will
Death
happen.
by charcuterie.
There are so many ways. Like there's been so many times I should have died just with how I live my life.
And then just
the cheese knife went right through her heart. Wait,
Wait, honestly,
as David Caruso.
honestly, yes, that's probably more likely. I think I want a boring death because I know it will not happen in a boring way.
looks like she shouldn't have cut the cheese.
Wow, bad, and then paradiddle.
Start it over. There it is. There it is in the background. Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
2 paradiddles, just 2.
Next question.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
You
it?
did it.
It's a lightning round. It's supposed to be
Light and easy.
fast.
Wow, only 3 questions for a lightning round.
Three.
Right? We gotta get through this fast. We're already keeping you like hours after you were supposed to be.
I know you have a whole other guest. Hi, how are you? I'm so sorry.
Steven, we love you.
Steven's like, good God, finish this.
So
Finish it.
we've talked a lot about what goals look like as a
Yeah.
kid.
We've talked about a lot about
We've
what
talked
ghouls look like
a
as
lot
kids.
what ghouls look like as adults and goals look like as adults. But Jordan and Alex, we are at the part of the show where we make the scientific and hypothetical verdict. So what? Oh, that was really good.
That's
Did you-
great.
That was great. Were goals better as a kid, or are they better now?
They just are more
As
stressful.
adults.
They're more stressful
So,
now.
Alex, you are our guest of honor, first time
Sorry.
video guest on the pod. I want to know, were goals better as a kid, or are they better now as adults?
They're not better or worse. They're just more stressful now because when you're a kid, there's like nothing on the line. You're like living at your parents' house.
I'll figure out how to be
You're like,
Barbie.
I can think about anything and it's fine. It will happen. Like now it's like, no, I have a living. I have a rent I have to pay, a car payment. I'm thinking of maybe buying a place and I'm just like, oh my God, I need to, like my goals actually have to align
Actual
with my
stressful
lifestyle.
things,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's so much easier sometimes to set goals for yourself when there's like nothing on the line. Like
I love it. That's fantastic.
So
Jordan?
it's not better. You're saying it's not better.
It's not better or worse. It's just more
a different-
stressful.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
for
sounds
me.
like that sounds like you're saying it's worse as an adult.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah,
more
I
stressful.
guess so.
Like it's not as enjoyable.
better
Yeah.
as kids.
Better as kids. All right.
Love it. Jordan?
I don't know if I agree or disagree, but I'm going to talk through this for a second. So,
Okay. Hit
I
me.
remember one of the first minor panic attacks I had was in 6th grade
Here we go.
when I
we're
woke
also
up.
all anxious people.
I woke up and we're all in therapy. And I woke
Yep.
up and my sister was taking a shower, which woke me up because my bedroom was right next to the bathroom. And I was thinking, oh God, I have to go to school again. Like I think I probably had like some kind of assignment due that I was worried about or something. But like I hadn't really faced adversity when it came to like school and academics and what was expected of me until middle school. And that was when I first hit this wall, like this could break me. Right. I think for me personally, I can only say this personally. It was more stressful as a kid. I think going through
Well, that's actually really interesting.
I mean, if you think about like your years going through puberty, God forbid.
Oh, listen, you know what? I'm actually
about
happy
those
you
a
said
lot.
that because like when you are in junior high school, elementary school, that's your whole world.
Right,
you
and
can't
nothing
see
else
past
matters.
it.
Even though now we look back and think like, yeah, that was stupid. Why are
Like
we
when
stressing
people are
over
shitty
it?
to me now, I'm like, yeah, that sucks. But I'm
Right.
like, it's not like it does not make or break me.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but also, I just had this thought too. You should do an episode because from someone who did therapy as a child and as an adult,
I didn't do it as a child.
I did.
Oh, I did it with my dad.
Oh.
He's a psychologist.
Oh, cool.
We
don't
have
Great.
an episode
Super
about
safe.
that. Episodes about
But
that.
I was saying you should, if you haven't already, like do a therapy episode.
Okay.
Because I remember it's so funny. You know me, Jordan. Like I'm such an open, and I go see a therapist once a week. And I'm like, I'm texting, like I'll text Christy. I'm like, Christy, I can't wait to tell you what happened.
That's also like one of my favorite things about our generation. Like,
Yeah,
baby
Christy!
boomers are just like, I heard she's going to therapy, and then we're all
We're
just
like-
like, you won't have any idea the
I have
breakthrough
a
I had
guy.
today.
I have a guy.
I had a therapy, but like a whole breakthrough. But
Yeah.
as a kid, I remember apparently my therapist was like, she's super closed off. She will not open up. Like we're having a really hard time getting in there. And now I'm just like,
What happened? Yeah, what happened
I'm
to
like,
you?
what happened? I was like, Christy. I
Have
was
you
like,
seen her live journal?
I'm like, Xanga.
Her Zanga. Have you seen her Zanga? I'm actually terrified that I don't remember the login to my Zanga. It's
Oh,
it's
I've
just
tried.
scary. It's scary.
MySpace.
So
But
with
yeah,
that being said,
yeah,
I'm
but
gonna-
I get that. I
yeah.
understand that because that is your whole world, and so like grades, everything, all these goals that you quote unquote have,
Right.
it's sometimes really hard to see outside the four walls
From
of your high
that
school.
third person perspective, I
Sure.
would say it's harder as an adult. But I think when you're in it, when you're really in those trenches as a kid, and you're just like, "What? These pants don't fit me right," and that girl's gonna judge me because these cargo
Who
shorts.
are you?
I
don't
just walked
know.
in with a whole like plastic leopard ensemble.
I almost wore the same
and
thing.
you
today.
fucking rocked it. Okay,
like,
mean,
listen. I literally said to someone today, again, because we're about this is a episode or a whole podcast on being like a child or whatever. I
let's
the
let
promo
this the new
for this
promo.
Welcome to the podcast where it's like being like about a
Child
child or
or
whatever.
actually that
You
should
should
be
listen
the
to it.
byline.
That's it. That's
For
the new
this.
title.
If you cut that, just mark that. That can be the whole promo for
So
this.
much
We'll have that
Instagram
as, like, just
content
right,
right
at the front
now.
End. We'll just
Yeah.
front end it with that.
Podcast about being a child or
Anyways,
something.
so like I went to an event last night and again was like not the coolest person in the room, and I was just like I did full glam, and all my friend was like, oh my gosh, like we love this look, and I was like, listen, I actually planned this outfit. I said we've come a long way from me coming into school wearing like stripes with plaid shorts and like sambas
Who
or like
didn't
hot
have plaid shorts? Did you
tapa.
have plaid shorts?
But from
Always.
Hollister,
Everyone.
Bermuda
Everyone.
shorts.
Yes.
I know, and everyone laughed at me because they were like, "Why are you wearing stripes with plaids? Like you're not cool, bitch."
You can mix patterns, bitch.
Yeah, well,
We don't
everyone
know.
made me feel stupid. Whatever. Now I'm just like, you. When you're an adult, you're like, where would you want to wear? Who the cares?
Come on. It works as a neutral.
Yeah.
Leopard, come on.
Canceled.
It does.
It's just straight lines at this point.
God, I should put it on for the end.
Verdict for Felix. Goals were better as a kid because you just didn't have a cap. You just didn't have a cap. You could be a tiger. You could be a
Barbie
Ninja
tiger.
Turtle. You could be a Barbie. And you know what? As much as adults wanted to be like, that's sweet. As a kid, you believed it 100%. You're like, this is what I want to do and what I want to be. And whether that you were headed in that direction and you veered and you ended up doing something else, it doesn't matter. As a kid, you were a loud-ass jacket. You had your whole life ahead of you, and it's like, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna figure out how to do it, and you realize I can't make money as a tiger, so I'll play golf. I did it. I bridged the
bridged
gap.
that, the
I
tiger
bridged
gap.
the gap.
The tiger gap sounds like something that like a training samurai has to jump over
Right.
in order to.
You must.
Guys,
was Achieve an hour and a half
Tiger gap.
This was an hour and a half podcast.
Every episode's an hour and a half.
Oh, they're so
It's
long.
fine. She hasn't listened to our show before. It's
They're
fine.
very long.
I definitely have.
You want to close
just
this out?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, this has been a joy. Alex,
been a
thank you
joy.
for being our first guest on video. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you so much.
I love talking about goals and ghouls and ghosts and everything.
I love how like you can depend on me for just somehow completely sidetracking from the
That's
conversation.
all we want in any guest. It is
Could you
all we
imagine
want.
just later on, like the number one entrepreneur in North America, Alex Gervasi. So tell us about your success. This one time I saw a ghost. wearing boots. I was upside down in my bed. So are you saying that we should invest right now in medals? Well, the ghost was in boots. So I love it.